said that. I said that on McAfee, and I said it with a lot of bravado. And then I did this prediction special, and I said it again. And Lions fans were very sensitive to that because here's a team that was #1 in all of football last year, just by every offensive category. They were the 1 seed in the NFC. That was some performance. Jared Goff, 5 touchdown passes. John Morton dialing it up as if he had Ben Johnson's offense and then some. I loved what I saw from them. Might just be Green Bay's defense is excellent. And the Lions could be really good too. Jared Goff.
Jared Goff was always expected to be a star. Drafted first overall, armed with a rocket of an arm that helped turn around a struggling Rams franchise and lead them to a Super Bowl appearance. But by 2021, that star came falling down when the Rams gave up on Goff and traded him to a poverty franchise, the Detroit Lions, where his career was effectively sent to die. And then, against all odds, Goff rose from the ashes. He was migrated to Detroit to die. Respectfully, they threw him to the pack, but he came back leading it. He came back leading the pride. What he's been able to do in Detroit is something that no quarterback has ever been able to do today. He is leading the Lions to the best years in their history, transforming a once hopeless franchise into an absolute powerhouse. This is the rise, fall, and redemption of Jared Goff.
But just how did a castaway quarterback save his career and, with it, an entire organization? To understand his journey, you have to go back to when Goff was still in high school. Athleticism was in Jared Goff's blood. His father, Jerry Goff, spent 6 seasons as an MLB catcher, passing down the competitive edge that fueled Jared's rise on the football field. As a sophomore at Marin Catholic, Goff earned the starting quarterback job, and immediately he was unstoppable. Over 3 seasons, he racked up jaw-dropping stats, more than 7,600 passing yards and 93 touchdowns. But it wasn't just about numbers. Goff's precision, clutchness, and leadership quickly turned heads as he led his team to deep playoff runs and cemented himself as one of California's top quarterback prospects. By the time he graduated, he was a 4-star recruit and had offers pouring in from schools like Boise State, Fresno State, and Washington State. But Goff had his heart set on staying close to home, ultimately committing to the University of California, Berkeley, where he would begin the next chapter of his journey.
The sports commentator's writing style is quick, clear, and forceful. When Jared Goff stepped onto Cal's campus in 2013, expectations were low, not for him, but for the football program. Cal football was in the middle of a rough patch, coming off a 3-9 season, and optimism was hard to find. But after being named the starting quarterback as a true freshman, the first in school history, Goff proved to be the spark the team needed. At first, the results weren't pretty. Cal finished with a brutal 1-11 record, but Goff's potential was impossible to ignore. His offensive linemen blocked well, they ran well, but he knew he had to play a better game to give them a chance to win. Throwing for over 3,500 yards and 18 touchdowns, he showcased a natural talent for reading defenses and delivering precise passes. By his sophomore year, Goff began to turn things around. In 2014, he threw for nearly 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns. The team finished 5-7, which was a promising step forward.
The sports commentator's writing style is quick, clear, and forceful. Then came his breakout junior season. Goff racked up 4,719 passing yards and 43 touchdowns, which were both Pac-12 records at the time. Under his leadership, Cal finished 8-5 and capped the season with a bowl game victory, their first in years. Goff was now one of the most talked-about quarterbacks in college football. By the time he declared for the NFL draft, he had rewritten Cal's record books. Nearly every meaningful passing record now belonged to him, including career completions, passing yards, and touchdowns. But as much as college prepared him, the NFL would present a new set of challenges, and it wasn't going to be an easy transition. After much deliberation with his family and close friends, he decided to forego his senior year at Cal and declare for the 2016 NFL Draft.
Heading into the 2016 NFL Draft, Jared Goff was a fascinating prospect, but not everyone was convinced. Critics pointed to his slender frame, his struggles under pressure, and the air raid offense he thrived in at Cal, questioning how well his game would translate to the NFL. Goff never even took a snap under center in college, which raised questions about his ability to run an NFL offense. Still, he was a top-rated quarterback prospect alongside North Dakota State's Carson Wentz. The Los Angeles Rams, fresh off their move to LA, needed a franchise QB. To land the #1 pick, they pulled off a blockbuster trade, giving up multiple firsts, seconds, and thirds to jump from 15th to the top of the draft. And then, the Los Angeles Rams selected Jared Goff, quarterback, California.
The sports commentator's writing style is quick, clear, and forceful.
Goff was now the face of the Los Angeles Rams, stepping into a massive market with sky-high expectations. The Rams hadn't made the playoffs in over a decade, and Goff was supposed to change that. But he was joining a team that was navigating a new city, had a head coach in Jeff Fisher who was on his last legs with the organization, and a roster with many holes. Goff had his work cut out for him. He began the season watching from the sidelines behind veteran Case Keenum, and it wasn't until Week 11 that Goff got to start. When he did, things went downhill fast. In Goff's debut against the Miami Dolphins, he showed occasional flashes, but the Rams' offense only put up 10 points in the loss. The struggles didn't end there. Goff started the final 7 games of the season, and the Rams went winless in those games, finishing 0-7 with Goff under center. He had just 5 touchdowns to 7 interceptions and looked overwhelmed, sacked 26 times in those 7 games. By season's end, the Rams finished 4-12, and the whispers about Goff being a bust grew louder. Critics questioned if the Rams had made a huge mistake with their blockbuster trade.
Following the struggles of his rookie season, the Rams made sweeping changes, starting with firing coach Jeff Fisher and hiring Sean McVay, who would be the youngest head coach in NFL history. His age was a concern, but McVay brought a fresh offensive vision tailored to Goff's strength. With new weapons like wide receiver Robert Woods and rookie Cooper Kupp, Goff found himself in a much improved situation. The difference was evident right out of the gate. In Week 1, Goff threw for over 300 yards and a touchdown in a dominant 46-9 win over the Colts. Goff blossomed in McVay's system, showing the accuracy, quick decision-making, and deep ball prowess that made him the top pick. He finished the year with 3,804 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions. His 100.5 passer rating was a remarkable leap from his rookie campaign and ranked among the league's best, earning him a Pro Bowl nod. More importantly, Goff was no longer shouldering the burden alone. The Rams' offense, powered by Todd Gurley's MVP-caliber season, became one of the most dynamic in the league, averaging over 29 points per game. LA finished with an 11-5 record, claiming their first NFC West title since 2003. Goff made his playoff debut against the Atlanta Falcons in the wildcard round, where he showed flashes of greatness but came up short in a 26-13 loss. Still, this sophomore breakout silenced the critics.
Heading into the 2018 season, the Rams were seen as true Super Bowl contenders, surrounded by a stacked supporting cast that included All-Pro running back Todd Gurley and a dynamic receiving trio of Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, and Cooper Kupp. Goff thrived. He posted career-best numbers, throwing for 4,688 yards and 32 touchdowns, while leading the Rams to a scorching 8-0 start. They finished the regular season at 13-3, claiming the NFC's number 2 seed. One of the best moments of Goff's season came in Week 11 against the Kansas City Chiefs in what many consider the greatest regular season game in NFL history. Goff went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes in a 54-51 thriller, throwing for 413 yards and 4 touchdowns, including a game-winning strike in the final minutes. The Rams carried that momentum into the playoffs, defeating the Dallas Cowboys and surviving a controversial overtime victory against the New Orleans Saints in the NFC Championship. However, their magical run came to a screeching halt in Super Bowl 53. Facing Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, Goff completed just 19 of 38 passes for 229 yards and a crucial interception, as the Rams managed only a single field goal in a 13-3 loss.
The sports commentator's writing style is quick, clear, and forceful. Coming off their Super Bowl appearance, the Rams struggled in the 2019 season. They finished with a 9-7 record and narrowly missed the playoffs. Statistically, Goff's numbers weren't far off, throwing for 4,638 yards, but the efficiency and precision were no longer there. He managed just 22 touchdowns against 16 interceptions, with turnovers and shaky decision-making becoming recurring issues. The offensive line became a liability, and Todd Gurley battled injuries that limited his production. Without a dominant ground game, the weight fell on Goff, and the cracks began to show. Throughout the 2020 season, tensions continued to rise. While the team had a solid 10-6 record and a playoff berth, Goff's inconsistencies were becoming detrimental. There was a growing division between Goff and head coach Sean McVay. McVay grew visibly frustrated with Goff's inability to execute consistently. Still, Goff had flashes of greatness, such as in the wildcard round against the Seattle Seahawks, where he stepped up just 12 days after surgery on a broken thumb to lead the Rams to a 30-20 victory. The following week, the Rams fell to the Green Bay Packers, 32-18.
The sports commentator's writing style is quick, clear, and forceful. By season's end, it was clear the Rams no longer believed Goff was their guy. breaking news confirmed a monster blockbuster trade. The Detroit Lions were dealing Matthew Stafford to the LA Rams in exchange for 2 future first-round picks, a third-round pick, and Jared Goff. The trade was viewed as a win for the Rams, who eventually captured a Super Bowl title with Stafford. For the Lions, Goff's first season was anything but smooth. He went from the bright lights of Los Angeles to a Lions team in full rebuild mode. They hired a new head coach, Dan Campbell, and a new GM, Brad Holmes, who selected Penei Sewell and found a gem in Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Lions stumbled out of the gate, starting 0-8. Injuries to players like DeAndre Swift and TJ Hawkinson left Goff without many weapons. However, Goff and the Lions found rhythm late in the year. In Week 13 against the Minnesota Vikings, Goff led a game-winning drive for the Lions' first win of the season. They finished by winning 3 of their final 6 games.
The sports commentator's writing style is quick, clear, and forceful. Heading into the 2022 season, key pieces fell into place. Amon-Ra St. Brown emerged as a star. An improved offensive line gave Goff protection, and new offensive coordinator Ben Johnson brought a creative approach. Goff threw for 4,438 yards and 29 touchdowns. The Lions became one of the most exciting teams to watch. In the final week, the Lions crushed the Green Bay Packers' postseason hopes at Lambeau Field, winning 20-16. Suddenly, it felt like the Lions, a franchise that hadn't won a Super Bowl in over a century, might be a contender. Brad Holmes continued to cook in the draft, selecting Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta, while adding David Montgomery in free agency.
In 2023, Goff rose to the occasion, delivering some of the best football of his career with sharp decision-making and ball protection. He led the Lions to a 12-5 record, their best finish in decades. In the playoffs, Goff guided Detroit to their first playoff victory in over 30 years, and it was against his former team, the LA Rams. After a divisional round victory over the Buccaneers, the Lions fell short in the NFC Championship against the San Francisco 49ers, but the season was a triumph.
The sports commentator's writing style is quick, clear, and forceful. The 2024 season has confirmed the Detroit Lions are for real. Jared Goff has mastered Ben Johnson's offense. In Week 4, Goff even caught a touchdown pass against the Seahawks in a game where he completed all 18 of his pass attempts. In Week 11, they demolished the Jacksonville Jaguars 52-6, and Goff finished with a perfect passer rating. The Lions finished the year 15-2 with the best record in the NFC. However, an underlying issue reared its head in the playoffs: injuries. The Lions had 16 players on injured reserve entering their divisional round matchup with the Washington Commanders. In that game, Washington and Jaden Daniels marched up and down the field, and Goff struggled with 3 interceptions. Detroit fell 45-31. While it was a disappointing end to the best season in Lions history, fans can rest easy. As long as Dan Campbell is calling the shots and Jared Goff is pulling the trigger, the Detroit Lions will always be a force to be reckoned with.